Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how to turn this expanding foam into this Halloween pumpkin. So let's go down to the workshop and I'll show you how it's done. Now we're in the workshop. I've got my glass bowl, so I'll spray plenty of water onto it, and then small circles we start putting a thin layer of foam on. You don't want it to be too thick, so be careful when you're doing it. And we'll just go all the way around and fill the bowl up. Once we've got to the top of the bowl, I'm going to spray it with some water. That'll help prevent it from growing too much, and it'll give it a skin, because the next job we're going to do is just to pat around that edge to stop it expanding too much, because this is going to be the inner part of the pumpkin, so it doesn't have to be very thick. It's just going to be there to hold the shape for us, to make the pumpkin shape. So it doesn't matter how much water you use, you can use plenty of water, it won't affect the foam. And then once it's after 10 minutes, we can start patting it round and forming our shape. Keep spraying it with water, because you don't want to get this on your hands. After about 15 minutes, you should be able to spray the top edge of the bowl so the water runs down the back of it, and slowly peel away on the foam. Keep using plenty of water, because it won't have set inside there, so that'll just help it, and it'll help it release itself from the bowl. So just slowly work your way around. If you get to a piece that's still a bit sticky and stuck to the glass, you can just spray a bit more water on it, and that'll help it peel away. Just take your time, because you don't want to rip it, because it's still fairly fragile at this point. Just ease it out nice and gently. There we go. So put it down, get it to, and try and keep it to its shape. And I'm going to spray it with more water to seal that outer edge, and leave that for a few minutes just to get a little bit of a crust on it, so you can touch it without it sticking to you. And just make sure it doesn't start expanding in certain areas. This one's going to be the top one, so we're just going to put a little bit of a dint in the top of it. That's the bottom one. They're both set now, so we can stick them together. So again, it's a thin bead of foam around the top of that one, and then sit the other on and the bond together. I'm going to stand it on a piece of wood, so I'm going to spray some water on there so it won't stick to it, and we can start putting the outer coating on it. Start spraying that on, controlling it again, because we don't want it very thick. Nice straight lines, and we're just going to completely cover the whole pumpkin now in strips like this. Again, we're going to leave this about 10 minutes, and then we'll spray it with some water, and then we should be able to pat it down then. It's got a skin on it, just smooth it off a little bit, get rid of all those lumps. Now I've cut some lengths of string. We're going to wrap them around, tie them at the top, just so when it expands that little bit, it'll leave lines in like a normal pumpkin has. That's fully set now, so we can take the string off, get rid of that. Just going to make a little stalk out of some foam. There's a few little gaps in it, so I'm just using some painter's cork just to fill any little holes. A little bit of water just to smooth it out so you won't see it when it's painted. I'm just going to go round the whole pumpkin and just fill in all those little cracks. And left that to dry, so now we can draw our design on. I'm going to poke a couple of holes out for the eyes. I'm just using a leather punch just to make 2 holes in that, and then I'm going to use a craft knife just to cut the mouth out. This one's going to have teeth, so I'm making some teeth out of foam clay. Use a bit of water just to stick them in place and to smooth them out. I'll start with the bottom row of teeth. That's the bottom row of teeth done, so I'm going to start on the top row of teeth now. That's his teeth done, so start making the lips. Same again, I'm using some foam clay, plenty of water to smooth that round. So I'm going to put that top lip and bottom lip on. That's his mouth complete, so I'm going to start making his cheeks, his eyebrows and his nose. There we have it, that's his face complete. So I'm going to leave that overnight to dry because it takes between 24 hours and 48 hours to dry, and then we'll be able to paint it. left that overnight. It's all dry now, so I'm going to use Hexflex to seal it all, and it acts as a primer as well. I'm just going to completely cover the whole thing now with this Hexflex. I watered it down slightly, make it a bit easier. That's completely coated now, so we'll just leave that to dry. It's going to take about an hour, and we'll take it down to the workshop and start spraying it. I've sprayed the white primer on the light areas. Next I'm going to spray red primer onto the areas which are going to be orange. They're not completely covering the black. We'll leave some of it visible because it helps with the contrast and shadowing. Once that's dry, we can start painting it. That's all dry now, so I'm going to go over it all with an orange acrylic paint that's been watered down. Just give it a wash, and that'll give us our base coat, and then we can start building the layers of orange up to give it some contrast. It's had another coat of orange. It hasn't been watered down now, and I'm just going to go over areas with an airbrush just to highlight little bits and give a little bit more detail to it. For the base coat of the face, I'm just using unbleached titanium and a slight bit of orange just to tinge it slightly so it's not quite as white. I'll cover the whole face in this. This is going to be our base coat. Now that's dry, I'm going to give it a watered down orange wash over the whole lot. So I'll get that on to all the cracks, then using a damp paper towel I'll just wipe that off, and it should leave all detail in the cracks of like orange. Finally, I'm going to dry brush some unbleached titanium onto the teeth and highlight some parts of the face. Hope you liked this video. It's got a fake candle in there. I'll catch you on the next one.